Good morning, guys. This is Sheila from One Pretty Little Box. How are you doing? We're gonna have a coffee chat this morning. And yes, as you see, I really just got out of bed probably about an hour ago. It's 4:53. Okay, I got up at 4:10. That is my morning routine. I do get up with my husband to make his breakfast and to pack his lunch and set his clothes out because I really enjoy doing that for him. But I have my coffee right here. It's pretty yummy. It's peppermint mocha. Go grab you a cup and let's have a chit chat. Go ahead. I'll wait for you. Pause the video. I'm gonna take a sip though, because there's something about that hot coffee in the morning that is so amazing. I wonder if hot water would be the same. I've had hot tea in the mornings and it's good. You guys, my eyes are just burning. I don't like it when they're burning. Having some allergy issues this week. My hair gets crazy. I'm surprised it looks this decent. I'm one of those, when I sleep, I shove my head up under the pillow. I don't know if any of you do that, and I don't do it all night long, but I guess last night I was so cold. I attempted to write and I just began to feel kind of gross. My throat was a little scratchy and I felt feverish. Couldn't find the thermometer in my house. I have no idea where that is. I knew where it was, but it's not there, so I guess someone else got it and I don't know what they did with it. I just felt like I was coming down with something, so I closed my laptop and I went to bed. But I was so cold that I curled up under all the covers and shoved my arms underneath me, and I like to lay on my tummy sometimes and shove my head up under the pillow, and I was out. Oh my goodness, you guys. Good morning. Sorry. I knew I was going to film this early because I really do kind of want to do a Wednesday coffee chat with you guys. I think that's kind of fun. I love the idea of it. I'm actually going to sit down and kind of ponder what kind of different coffee chats we could have once a week. I thought that would be great. Maybe in the comments below you guys can kind of give me a suggestion of topics, whether it be girl talk, whether it be relationships or children or just stuff in the news. I don't know. Today's a pretty heavy video though. I will tell you that ahead of time. It is a parenting video and marriage, I guess. That's where it starts, right? Parenting starts with marriage usually. Not always, and I get that. So, one more sip and here we go. I guess it was over the weekend when I knew. It was over the weekend when I was working out different videos that I wanted to do this week. What was really on my heart, and this came to mind, and I knew that as hard as it is a video to make, I was gonna have to make it. And it's really not hard for me to share it. It might be hard for some people that I love to hear it, and I don't want them to take it the wrong way. You know what I mean? I don't want them to be offended. I don't want them to say, well, gee, thanks, because that's not what I mean at all. I'm just sharing my own experience and the fruit that we've experienced from the life that we live. And I'll tell you, when we first got married, I did not, the Bible tells you that you are to leave your parents and cleave to your spouse. I wrote it down because I knew I wanted to read it. You may not believe in the Bible, and that might not be something that you read, but I think all religions kind of teach this in one form or another. I might be wrong. If I am, please just leave it down. And you may not be religious at all. That's you, But I think, let me share this, and then I'm going to share the wisdom that I've experienced putting this into practice. In Genesis 2:4, here, I'll show it to you. Genesis 2:4. It says, therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And I know that's Old Testament. And in the New, I wanted to see if the same thing was said in the New Testament. It was pretty much just referenced a couple times. Once was in Ephesians 5:31, and the other was in Matthew 9:19:5, when it talks about how husbands should treat their wives and wives should treat their husbands, and how in Matthew it actually talked about divorce. And it's funny because I guess it must have been Jesus. He was questioned, hey, how come Moses said it's okay to divorce? And he kind of said, well, it's not how it was created to be in the beginning. It's not how it was created to be. It was created to be one unit forever. And then I looked up the definition of what it means to cleave. And it says, come or be in close contact with, stick or hold together, and resist separation. I don't know why I'm getting teary-eyed, guys. I guess because I know the beautiful experience of a great marriage and a great relationship. I'm very, 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 very blessed in that. I'm gonna do a story time. It'll probably be for Sunday again. I think I'd like story time Sundays because it kind of lets you into my life a little bit. And this week I'm gonna do a story time on how I met my husband, because at the time, anyway, I'll leave it for that. Goodness. And now my eyes hurt again. Welcome to a crazy, crazy video. Oh well, you guys know I'm real. I'm not gonna fake it, and I'm not gonna go put on makeup at 4 o'clock in the morning for you guys. I love you, but I'm going the wave pool today. I don't need no makeup on my face. So it says to cleave, to leave your parents and cleave to your husband. I did not honestly do that until, oh gosh. Well, I guess in a sense I have, you know what I mean? From the time we got married, we have always been very tight. We do things together. When we were very young and married, we did do separate things. He would go out and have guys' night with his friends, and I'd go out with my girlfriends, and we'd have a girls' night out. And we'd have get-togethers together and stuff like that. When you put kids in the mix, it kind of changes things, I think after my daughter was born, I did take 3 trips. 3 trips without my husband. The first one we went with a group from work, all girls, and we floated. It was Memorial Day weekend, and we floated down the river in New Braunfels, because it's just something to do in Texas. And it was a fun time. It was a good time to get away. That was an amazing time in our marriage, too, because it gave my husband a chance to see. I guess he experienced life without me for a weekend, and he didn't like it. So it was a great experience for us both. And then right before my daughter was born, my sister-in-law at the time and one of my close friends, we flew in to Cancun for spring break. We were adults. We weren't in college or anything, but that was fun. That was a good time. When I came back, probably, I don't know, less than 9 months later, we found out it might have been, that was March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 9 months later, found out we were expecting our first baby. And that kind of changed our marriage as well. Because when you add a baby into the mix, it kind of reminds you, life's not about you anymore. Really, when you get married, life's not about you. But too many people make it still about them. It's all about me instead of it's about us. Well, Joel and I, we've made things about us from the time we got married. We had a few selfish moments in there. And even as a young mom, I still had selfish moments. I still have selfish moments now. Usually it's because my cup is dried up And I don't mean my coffee cup. It means I've given out so much that I have to start soaking back in a little bit. Anyway, and then she was a year and a half, and I went, sorry, I'm watching the cat. I went on a cruise with one of my dearest friends. We just wanted to go do something. And again, I think it was spring break time. It might have been April. I don't know. I think it was around spring break though. And we went to Cozumel. I love the Caribbean. It's just beautiful. And affordable, you know. A few months later, 9/11 happened, and well, a few weeks after that, we had already been trying. And when I got back from the trip, we decided it was time we wanted to start having another baby. You know, it took a while for Kristen, so okay, let's start now, because who knows how long it'll take. And it only took a couple months, which was nice. And so I was expecting the twins, and that changed everything. All that to say, now we couldn't have got through the time of having the twins and all that stuff without support from his family, and my family. And we still need their support in some ways. And I don't mean financially. I just mean that support of a family. That's not what this means when it says to leave. It does not mean leave the support that you have. What it does mean, this is where I'm going, and what I've seen in my own children, this whole video come about because I'm sitting here thinking, what makes the way we raise our kids so different from so many people that we know? What made it so different? And how did we get so lucky? How did we get so lucky that we have such great kids? And I think it's because of this. Because I never overdid. I never overcommitted. I never overplanned. I didn't call my mama for every little thing, every problem. I didn't call my mother-in-law for every little problem we had, and I love them both. I love my mother-in-law as much as my own mom. We had a very good relationship before she passed away. From the time I met her, we kind of were close. I know too many parents or too many women who run to their mamas to solve their problems for them, or run to a friend, or gossip because they know no other way to solve a problem. You know, they find somebody to vent to and talk to. You know who I vent to and talk to? My husband. I point in there to his chair and he's not there. He's at work. I talk to my husband. He is my soundboard all the time. All the time. And little things. Sometimes it frustrates him because he's like, just make a decision. But again, I'm cleaving to him. I'm holding on to him. I want to be in close contact with him. And our children see that. They know if they come to me and ask to do something, 7 out of 10 times, I'm going to tell them, well, let's go ask your dad what he thinks. If it's just go to a friend's house, no. You know, he trusts my judgment, and I have pretty good intuition with people. If I think my kids don't need to hang around someone, they're not going to hang around them. That's been another thing. Our kids have seen the way my husband and I relate to one another. And because of that, they respect our marriage. And because of that, they respect the whole family unit. They know family comes first. And there have been times I've told them, no, you cannot go do that. You're gonna stay home. Well, we're gonna do nothing. I don't care if we're gonna do nothing. You're gonna stay home and do nothing with us, because that's what families do. I don't teach my kids to go and blow all the time. Our daughter is turning into, she's a senior. she does go hang out with her friends a little bit more than the boys do. And they're like, oh, why does she get to go? And they don't understand because mama has to let her go and make some decisions for herself, even if they're not the right 100% ones that she needs to make. She's still going to learn from it. It's a learning experience. Every moment and every day is a learning experience for our children. And if you look at it that way and you put your family first, you're going to have the greatest kids. I'm telling you. Yes, I still have to get on to mine. They're not perfect. In fact, this week, Monday I went away for a good portion of the day. I went to go take care of something for my mother. And I left them some things to do and no one did them. So I came home a little frustrated. And they did them yesterday. They had to complete them. And they had to learn that responsibility. And when you're asked to do something, you need to do it. That way when they get a job and they're asked to do something, they will do it. I'm not raising entitled kids who think they're entitled to whatever they want. They might want something, and they might get a little tipped when I say no or I say not now, but they get over it. I don't give in to every want my kids need. They've learned if they go to my husband, he's more apt to say yes before me. He likes to give. He likes to give things. But he's very quick to say no too, because he knows they don't need everything they want. In fact, just haircuts. One of the boys, I usually do their haircuts because it's easy. I used to do hair, if you didn't know that. But there's one cut one of the boys wants I'm not quite sure on, and I don't want to mess it up. So I promised him that I would cut his hair this time, which was yesterday. And right before school, I'll take him and let him get his fancy do that he wants. Go figure. Teenage boys who want to impress the girls. Oh, gosh. Anyway, if you guys are struggling in parenting right now and your kids are just driving you bonkers, have a little, just go get you another cup of coffee. Take a deep breath. Know that your intentions are correct. If you're really struggling, take a step back for a minute. Question, what's going on for real? What is behind this? There's usually something behind it, hiding, lurking, like a shadow. And you got to go behind and look and figure out what that shadow is and what it is representing. My daughter can blow up for no reason. I've learned, okay, her cycle's probably coming up. 9 times out of 10, she's very easygoing, happy-go-lucky, and very compliant. And hallelujah, she cleaned her room yesterday. You can walk in there. I'm a happy mama. Usually if the boys are at each other's throats, it's because they're hanging around kids that are not being raised the same way that they are, and it's being allowed in their home. I don't allow my children to banter a lot. They don't yell at each other. I don't allow that. I've always raised them that they're going to be best friends all the way through. So you may have friends that come and go, but your brother and your sister will always be there. And now they know that, and they've learned it, and they've seen friends come and go, and they realize, oh, Mama was right. So I guess I got pretty lucky because I've just been open to the wisdom that comes. If there's a stirring in my heart, you really got to stop that. Like, I don't yell at my kids. Very seldom do I even raise my voice at them. Of course, now they're teenagers. It's easy. They really are easy. And a lot of people say, oh my goodness, how do you do it? But they're easy. Seriously. This school year, our biggest things were, with the daughter, was grades in one class. Which this has been the best year school-wise for her since elementary school. And the boys, it's just them getting along. And I guess it's a twin thing too. They share a lot of space. They share clothes. They're finding their personalities and their desires and all that good stuff. So they're going through a learning experience as well. And you know as well as I do, when you're going through something like that, it takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of mental focus, and it's tough. It's very tough. And of course they have hormones. You know, they're 14, so they have raging hormones. I guess the last thing that I can tell you that makes me different with my kids is that we are very open, very open. Physically, my husband and I are very open in front of the children. Not to that extent, you know what I mean? But enough for them to know that we are still very attracted to one another. We are still very excited by one another. We're happy to be with one another. And I want them to see that. I want them to see, oh my goodness, what are these old people doing? And they act embarrassed. But our own daughters even told us before that we give her hope. We give her hope for a marriage that she wants one day. Which that is probably what these tears are for. Because you know, when your kids come to you and say that, it's pretty amazing. It means that the fruit is ripe. And now we're going to reap a harvest, and we are reaping a harvest with our kids. Sorry. I don't know why I'm so teary this morning. Maybe I'm still tired. You know how kids, when they're very tired, they're very teary. I guess my family is very, very important to me. My husband is very important to me. Our marriage and our children. Oh, and by the way, this whole leave and cleave, we are raising our kids to leave us, not to hold on to us. I don't want my children to say, I can never leave home. I can't live without you. I'm raising them to be independent enough to say, okay, I'll be sad if something happened to you, but I know that I can make it because you've taught me a lot. That makes sense? I want my kids to be able to function as responsible and caring and kind and world-changing adults that they're going to be, because they're already that way. They are really are already world changers. People tell us all the time, your kids are so great. You know, I'm sitting in the football stands and, oh, that's your son? He is so great. He's always welcome at our house. He has great manners and he's such a good kid. Love it. I hear about our daughter all the time. Oh, that's your daughter? She is just the kindest, sweetest thing. She's always helping and she has a good heart. Those are the things you want to hear. And I truly believe it's from this principle of leaving all this stuff to side, cleaving to my husband and my kids, and staying tight, staying close. Outside opinions don't matter so much. Yes, they're necessary sometimes so we can actually see a different perspective. And I do have to say, I have a healthy village helping me here in my neighborhood. Sometimes your village doesn't have to be blood. Sometimes your village needs to be an environment around you that surrounds you. It's the reason we moved where we moved. We didn't know what we were getting when we moved here. We didn't know what we were getting when we looked at this house. We looked at we looked at 2 different houses in the neighborhood. We wanted to see 2 other ones, but one had sold and the other one our realtor refused to let us see because he said it just needed so much work. He said, there's no way I can show that to you. Okay, we figured it was just a sign that it's not our home. We walked in here, we knew immediately as soon as we walked through the door. It was like, oh, this is it. And it truly was. We have a great village around us. Anyway, that's my coffee chat. I'm halfway through and this video is already 25 minutes and you've seen me blubber enough. Don't get discouraged. If you're in a tough time with one of your kids or teenagers, know that you're going to get through it. There's a lesson in it. I've gone through tough things with our kids different times. Some of them have been very tough, really tough, to the point that I just thought I was going to lose my mind. Not really, but close. Yet, when we come through that, when we busted through that situation and got to the other side, we could breathe and look back and think, oh, okay, this taught her that, this taught me that, this taught my husband that, and we've grown together and tighter as a family. Stop looking at situations as bad. They're just a situation. It's just a lesson in life. And if you look at it as a lesson in life and you understand that, hey, it's time to dissect it a little bit and pick it apart and see what's going on and why, then it's like putting a puzzle together. You just gotta find an empty piece and stick it in. Maybe you have to move a couple pieces around that you thought were right and they're not, and it's okay to say, no, that doesn't go there. Pick it apart and put it where it goes. Life's a puzzle. That's all it is. Situations that you have right in front of you that are so tough, it is just a puzzle. You guys, I love you. You have such great hearts. Every one of you that have commented, and we've kind of been chit-chatting in the comments or messages. I just thank you for who you are. And I just want you to grab another cup of coffee and go sit down. Have 5 minutes to yourself and just say, give yourself a pat on the back and say, I'm doing an amazing job. I am a great parent, because you are. You're here. You've watched this video all the way to this end. I thank you for making it this far. I did not intend for this video to be this long. Thank you for having coffee with me. I'm hoping this will be uploaded early enough for you to still have coffee. And that's it. Thanks for coming. What do you want to talk about next Wednesday for coffee chat? I'd love to accommodate. So in the comments below, why don't you give me some suggestions? I'd love it. Even if you're just picking suggestions from someone else, I don't know, whatever. Just leave a suggestion below and we'll chat again with a cup of coffee. Or tea, or juice, or water, whatever it is you have in your cup.